Why hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Trader Steve's journey across Gielinor to collect as many rare items as he can get his grubby little mitts on. Trader Steve is starting his journey in the Grand Exchange chunk, but for every new rare item he can add to his collection that's worth more than 1 mil, he can unlock a new adjacent chunk, with Trader Steve's ultimate goal, obtaining a quest cape. So after months of grinding moneymakers, we're finally able to afford the boa faerdhinen. We were able to snag it in the last episode for 142 mil, making it by far our most expensive item. Now to do it, we ventured to the brand new continent of Varlamore, and due to the Colosseum being such a good moneymaker, we're finally able to afford the bofa. But we're not done yet. It just keeps going. Oh guys, I can't believe we're back here again, but it's just too logical to not do it. So although we've done the hard part, we've acquired the 140 mil item, it's not really usable yet because we need to corrupt it. We have the crystal shards even, but there's one thing we're missing, the skill requirements to actually corrupt it. We need 82 smithing and crafting, which means at a minimum we need 78 in both because you can boost. So once again, we need some money, so we're back at elf pickpocketing. Oh, thank Christ, that didn't take that long. That will do for now. I think we just need one drop really to get ourselves going. So we're going to start off with crafting, and crafting in 2024 is insanely cheap. I actually might just be free. Making most battle staves right now is actually slightly profitable, which is crazy when you look back historically, but I mean, no complaints from me. This should be an incredibly quick experience, and we're starting at about 4 mil, and we'll see how much this costs or if we even make money. Okay, so we did 400. We profited like 50k, that's insane. The only problem is we can only do a few hundred at a time because our cash stack's so low, but hey, free crafting experience, no complaints. So we had to juggle our money back and forth quite a bit, but we did do it, didn't take that long. 78 crafting, which will allow us to use, I think, a mushroom pie or something to boost by 4. And after selling everything off, we've actually profited 300k getting these levels, which is crazy. Okay, so that leaves smithing. Now smithing's a little bit more complicated. Now conventionally smithing is a very cheap method, but we have a couple issues. Sure, we could unlock the blast furnace, I think it's only one chunk away potentially, but we can't get goldsmithing gauntlets very easily. And all the other smithing methods are slower or require a coal bag, which means we'd have to go get a coal bag. Not the end of the world, but would definitely take some time. Other options is we could just do anvil smithing, but anvil smithing is really expensive. What we're actually going to do is we're going to unlock the Giant's Foundry. The boa faerdhinen is of course an item on our list, which means we are able to unlock a brand new chunk. Of course, there's a quest related to it, so 100% we are going to need this chunk. Plus, the Giant's Foundry should be pretty cheap or even maybe profitable smithing training, and I think it'll just be more fun to do this anyway. So there we go, we forged our first sword, and that has brought us up to 138 quest points. So currently we're level 71 smithing, which means we need to get, I think, 7 levels at the minimum. I don't think I've done Giant's Foundry since release, so I'm kind of curious to see what the profitability is, what's the best XP method. We'll have to have a look. Okay, so what I've landed on is we want to do a adamant and mithril alloy, and it's actually a lot cheaper to buy items, pre-forged items on the Grand Exchange, and then smelt them down. So we can buy items like adamant chain bodies, mithril warhammers, mithril battle axes. The way this works is you get 1 less bar than was used to smith it originally. So for the battle axes, we'll get 2 bars when we use them in the Giant's Foundry, and same for everything else, honestly. That's convenient because we only have to withdraw 7 of each of them, and this is actually pretty significantly cheaper than just buying the bars directly. Okay, so what we do is we go to the bank chest, withdraw 7 of a adamant item, 7 of a mithril item, and this is also kind of convenient because we can have a bunch of buckets of water in our inventory because we don't have ice gloves, which means that gets a little annoying, but this actually becomes really convenient. Now in theory, we should be able to get up to about 200k per hour smithing experience, but because we haven't unlocked all the molds yet, and I'm probably just bad at this, we're gonna get significantly less, but should increase over time. Okay, pretty much as soon as I have enough for another mold, I unlock it right away. There's no point hoarding points at all because you're just lowering your experience rate. So as soon as we have enough foundry reputation, we'll go ahead and buy one of the molds. We don't really care about this other stuff too much. We're really just in it for the experience. So as we practice the Giant's Foundry, our experience is getting better and faster as we unlock more of the smithing molds, but also as we get more efficient at the training method. This is not only a satisfying way to train, but also just good game design and a great way to learn something. It's pretty much how I learn anything in life, and next on my list is learning back-end programming, which is why I'm really happy that boot.dev is sponsoring today's video. Boot.dev offers by far the most entertaining way to learn a coding language. Instead of smacking you on the head with a long list of dictionary, terms, and lessons, they've instead structured their courses more like the progression of a RPG. As you complete lessons, you will gain experience and level up, you'll complete quests, and you can even compete for high score ranks. Doesn't matter what it is, if I'm competing for high score ranks, you know, I'm in. They have comprehensive courses for both Python and Go programming languages, and you can complete them at your own pace from the comfort of your home. What I really love about the lessons is how interactive they are. It's actually just a fun way to learn, and if you're ever stuck, you can consult the AI Boots, and they'll walk you through any of the issues that you're having with the lesson. I also think it's really cool that boot.dev has all of their content up for free if you just want to read it and watch it in guest mode. A paid membership unlocks though the interactivity and the game that goes with it. So if you're interested in expanding your skill set and learning a programming language, now is a great time to give it a try. Right now, boot.dev is offering a discount to my channel viewers. All you have to do is click the link in my description and use my code FlippingOldSchool, and you'll get 25% off your first payment. So that's 25% off your first month or your first year, depending on your subscription. And a massive thank you to boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. Okay, that's the final sword, I think. That was really not that bad. It only took about 4 or 5 hours. That's going to be 78 smithing, just like that. That's pretty exciting. And we also have like 4,000 extra foundry reputation. No idea what I'm going to do with that. I mean, we could buy the colossal blade. I'm not sure. We'll just store these points for now. Oh my god, this has been so long in the making. So it says we need 82 smithing and crafting, but we can boost using a mushroom pie and a Kovacs grog, both purchasable right on the Grand Exchange. Or I suppose we're doing Giant's Foundry. We could have bought one from there, I guess. So we'll boost up to 82 smithing and crafting and make ourselves a corrupted Bofa. 2,000 crystal shards. Those were hard earned, but more than worth it. So there we go. One of the final steps in this 30-piece pie, but look at this thing. It's beautiful. So our bow of faerdhinen is corrupted, and that means we don't have to ever charge it with crystal shards ever again. It's actually a 100% free weapon. We don't even need ammunition for it. But on its own, it's not that strong. To really unlock the full power of it, we need to get crystal armor. Now, unfortunately, crystal armor can't be corrupted, which means we will, over time, have to recharge it with crystal shards. But from what I can tell, the upkeep shouldn't really be that bad. And it's 100% required to make the Bofa actually good. So once again, we're going to need more money and crystal shards. Precisely, we're going to need to get 6 crystal armor seeds, which are over 5 mil each. So we need like another 30 mil before we can finally use this damn weapon. Okay, so we're still a little short on crystal shards, so I thought, well, we might as well thieve from elves until we at least get 300 crystal shards. So only another 10 hours of thieving. What's another 10 hours at this point? Never gets old, does it? So that'll bring us up to 4 enhanced crystal teleports. We also have some Colosseum loot as well, bring us up to just a bit over 10 mil. And we also have 270 crystal shards. We almost have enough to create our entire set of crystal armor. Okay, we're gonna sell off our Zamorak D'hide armor. We're not gonna need it anymore, I don't think, anyway. And with that, we'll be able to purchase 2 of our crystal armor seeds eventually. Okay, so we got enough to make our first bit of the crystal armor. We're gonna make the crystal legs. The top and bottom are by far the most important. We could probably get away without using the helmet if we really didn't want to upkeep it as much. Really, at this point, I have no idea how quickly crystal shards are drained from your armor. It's really depending on what content you do. But there we go, we got the first piece, the bottoms. Okay, I think with that final drop, we do now have enough crystal shards, so we probably should go do something else. Realistically, we should probably do the Colosseum. It's our best consistent moneymaker. It's not my favorite, but we just need like another 10 mil or something, and then we're done for a while at least. Oh my god, don't ever send me back there again, please. Wave 1 farming is so mind-numbingly boring, but it's better GP per hour than doing the waves poorly with this gear, unfortunately. But we've acquired over 20,000 Sunfire Splinters. That took a while, like 5 hours or something. There we go, we're gonna sell them off for 490, bringing our cash stack up to 17 mil, and that should be enough. Okay, so first up, we need to go ahead and buy ourselves 3 crystal armor seeds. That's gonna use up pretty much all our money. Instant buy, yes, there we go. We'll go ahead and take our crystal shards and make the crystal body. So there is the crystal body. That means we have the top and bottom, and that's going to provide us the majority of the bonuses we need. Just the top and bottom is going to give us a 12.5% damage boost and a 25% accuracy boost for the Bofo, making it much stronger, much more accurate. Yes, eventually we're going to get the crystal helmet, but I just want to go use this thing. We've been waiting so long. So the great thing about the faerdhinen and crystal armor is it's really good at a wide variety of bosses. Unlike other weapons which are really strong at 1 or 2 places, the Bofa is at least competitive at so many different bosses, including raids, god wars, slayer bosses, giant mole, the inferno, the phantom muspa. I mean, the list goes on. It's just such a good all-around weapon. But that begs the question, what are we going to kill with it? Well, for a while I've had the God Wars dungeon bosses on my radar because right now they're actually really profitable, most of them. We have Kriara, which is giving up to 7 mil per hour. Granted, that's probably if you have a shadow, but still. Faerdhinen's up to 5 mil per hour. Bandos is 4.5 mil an hour. Like, these bosses are insanely profitable. They're some of the best moneymakers in the game right now. And the benefit of God Wars is they're pretty simple, more or less, and the Bofa allows you to get really long trips at pretty much all of them if you know the right strategy. And of the 4, I've decided to do Faerdhinen. Faerdhinen is probably the simplest boss to get into, and it's the second most profitable. That's thanks to its 2 really valuable drops right now, the Armadillo Crossbow, worth over 50 mil, and the Faerdhinen Hilt, which is worth 30 mil. So we're gonna go ahead and buy some supplementary items here. We're gonna buy ourselves a Varrock's Helm, just a temporary replacement until we get the Crystal Helm, some Zamorak Boots, which not only will offer God Alignment, but also is just our best pair of boots. Dragon Arrows because I'm dumb. Guys, I've literally never used a Bofa before. We don't actually need those at all. Oops. But yeah, this is going to be our setup for a while. We are going to, of course, make a few upgrades here and there, but we pretty much had all the gear we needed. We already had the Ring of Suffering, we already had the Anguish, and now we have the Crystal Armor and our faerdhinen. So I'm really excited to see how much better this is. We got kill count. Our inventory is mostly just some potions and our blowpipe and serpentine helm. That's so we can venom the minions 100% of the time. We're going to do this to soften the HP of the minions so we can take them out quicker. Not strictly required, but we'll make the kills a bit more consistent. Alright, I'm excited. Let's give it a try. Okay, I'm going to be honest, that first kill was really slow. Probably just bad luck. Fingers crossed, right? Yeah, okay, the second kill was much faster. Our accuracy should be about 50%, so obviously there's quite a bit of variance in kill times, but on average our time to kill should be about a minute to a minute and a half, which should be significantly better than the crossbow setup. So this trip has been going quite well. We're up to 12 kills in a single trip. Before the Bofa, I think we're getting like 4 or 5 at the best. I mean, we have improved a bit as well. Now I found these Bofa specific tile markers and they work really well. Pretty much if you're doing it correctly, you're missing no ticks and only the ranger realistically should be able to hit you. Sometimes the unicorn will slap you randomly if it just kind of gimps forward, but most of the time you're just taking range damage, which doesn't really end up to be that much, and you'll normally profit food. Alright, so that's going to be our final kill of the trip. So we got 14 in a single trip. That's so good. That took me almost an hour. Okay, so my first question is how many crystal shards did that use, or how many charges? Now they started with 2,500, so we used 122, which means in about an hour we're using 150-ish charges, which really is not that bad. That's like over 15 to 20 hours. For what's only, I think, realistically 50 crystal shards worth of charges. So yeah, this is going to be easy to recharge. We're definitely going to get the crystal helm, definitely worth it. And the other exciting thing is we're getting 20 kills per hour, which is pretty good in my opinion. That means we're getting about 3.6 mil an hour on average from faerdhinen right now, and that's only going to go up in the future. Now there is one thing that's still annoying about this boss right now, and that is getting the kill count. Even though we can stay in the chamber for a while now, the kill count still takes like 10 minutes to get, which is pretty slow. We'd have to do that every hour, cutting down our kills per hour by quite a bit. But there is a solution, and it's going to require us to finish a mini quest, the Frozen Door. So to do that, we first have to kill each of the God Wars bosses once and get the frozen key pieces. So I intentionally decided to stack some food on the ground here just in case. Alright, so we kind of brute forced each of the God Wars dungeon bosses, not using a very good strategy, but we only needed to kill them once, so who cares? So we have the frozen key, which means we can unlock Nex. And this is a huge unlock for a couple reasons. For one, Nex is one of the best moneymakers in the game, and eventually we are going to kill Nex. I mean, there's no doubt, we can't ignore it. The reasons why I'm not going to try to rush it, and that mainly comes down to the fact that Nex items are really rare, and once I get one of the items, I have to add it to my collection, which means the likelihood we make actual physical GP from it is pretty low. I mean, it's going to take a long time to get duplicates of items. So for now, we're more interested in the Nex bank. For those who don't know, there's a bank at Nex, and God Wars dungeon kill count is not wiped until you actually leave the dungeon, which means you can actually get kill count for the Nex bank and come bank here after your faerdhinen trips and just run right back in to kill faerdhinen after. Okay, so here's an example. So we just finished up 10 faerdhinen kills, which means our faerdhinen kill count is actually 40 again, which means we can re-enter the chamber. Now normally that wouldn't matter because we'd have to teleport out, go to a bank, and everything would be wiped anyway. But thanks to this Nex bank, we can just run over here, enter, resupply, and just run right back to faerdhinen. So useful, gonna save us so much time banking, and really you should be able to sustain this pretty easily. I'm disappointed every time that gets me. Well, Commander Zileana Adept, which means we got 50 kills with Zileana, not a huge achievement, and definitely not a unique, unfortunately. Okay, I missed it, but we just got 94 ranged. Zileana is not the quickest range training in the world, but honestly it's not bad. We're getting like 50k an hour for a moneymaker and a boss. That's actually good. I mean, we'll get 99 ranged here eventually if we keep at it, and I'm kind of thinking I might do it. I want to see how many drops I can get from whatever we started, 93 range or something, all the way to 99. That might be kind of interesting. Couple 100-hour grind though, so we'll see about that. I can't believe this, guys. So there's no way this just happened. So as you guys know, if you've been following the series, I spent months getting 2,000 crystal shards, more like 2,500 realistically, by hand without trading in enhanced crystal teleport seeds. We did it just by thieving in Zalcano, and of course, a week after I finished that grind, there's a rework to mining and Zalcano, and now Zalcano is up to 80 shards per hour due to the fact that there's no forced 3 downs anymore for the boss fight. You can do it in like seconds in a mass world, and you will always get 2 crystal shards if you get contribution, which is a bit tricky, but the crystal shards per hour is doubled, if not tripled, what it was before. So we're just gonna try this out quickly. We do need more crystal shards to charge our crystal armor and get our crystal helmet. So yeah, let's give this a try. So we just finished up an hour of the new Zalcano. We ended up with 80 crystal shards. I am a little mad, but overall happy because this means that recharging our crystal equipment just got 3 times quicker. It's almost not even an issue at all anymore. 1 hour of Zalcano will give us 20-30 hours of use, so it's almost no time required at all. And of course, plus we made a bit of money while we're doing it. What's that? It's a faerdhinen sword! Okay, well, first faerdhinen sword, that's a collection log at least, and not worth very much anymore. But 180k is better than most drops we're getting. Oh my... Okay, I think the problem is because we're running around so much, we can't actually see the drop on the ground, so I get excited. That's 100 kills at Zileana though. And I didn't actually realize this, but we actually finished up the medium combat achievements. We got enough points to claim that. We got that totally passively, so that's pretty cool. Most useful thing here is probably we get 35 cannons in our cannonball now, and increased medium clue spawn, and we get more teleports to the God Wars dungeon. So that's actually quite convenient. Oh, right, I forgot you could get those ancient ceremonial boots. I guess passively we're actually gonna get probably all the ancient ceremonial set eventually, which is some free collection logs, I suppose. Okay, so we have a fair bit of loot just from killing Ziliana, and I think it's probably about time we get our crystal helm. We're losing out on a moderate amount of DPS by not using it, and thanks to the changes to Volcano, I have no worries about upkeeping the crystal armor anymore at all. It's super easy. So we sold off pretty much everything in the bank we didn't need, and we did another hour and a half or something of Fortis Coliseum. I know, I said I wouldn't go back there, but we just needed a tiny bit more money to get our final crystal armor seed. And I think we should have the shards as well. Yeah, we got 107, perfect. So the crystal helm is definitely the least important of the armor pieces, but even still, getting the helm will get us a max hit and increase our accuracy by 4%. The DPS increase is actually pretty notable. We're going from 3.7 up to 4.1 and shaving about 7 seconds off per kill. So pretty decent upgrade. Okay, this is kind of a random kill count to end off at, but we're up to kill count 186, so we're pretty quickly approaching the drop rate for one of the actual valuable items. Now my plan for Faerdhinen is I'm gonna stay here for a while, but I don't wanna just camp it 24/7 and just burn myself out. The plan is to be very consistent because I wanna go for a couple thousand kills here, really try to make good money. Maybe greenlog the whole thing if we get lucky, but the reality is that there is still a pretty big upgrade that we don't have yet. And the reality is we can't rely on getting the valuable drops here soon enough to get this upgrade. And the upgrade I'm talking about is Rigor. I think most RuneScape players agree that if you had to sell your firstborn child, you should do it so you can get Rigor as early as possible. Now the annoying part about a consumable item like a prayer scroll is I'm gonna have to get 2 of them. The first one is gonna automatically get added to our collection, and the second one we can use. Now luckily for me, Rigor has actually gotten much cheaper over the last couple of months. It's actually down to around 20 mil, which means for me to actually unlock the prayer, we're gonna need to save up like 40 mil or something. So we're gonna need to make some money, and I don't know if we can rely on Faerdhinen alone to get that in a reasonable amount of time. So we are gonna be doing Faerdhinen continuously, at least 20 to 30 kills a day. But on the side, we're also gonna be slowly trying to build up our cash stack using more reliable moneymakers. The first one we're gonna do is something I haven't done in a while. We're gonna be making Forester's Rations. Who would have thought that months later, Forester's Rations would actually start to go up in price? I'm over it, but magic leaves are up to almost 800 GP. Really, we're looking for something relaxed to do on the side. I think this should be almost a mil per hour, which is quite good. So we bought the ingredients for 900,000, made 24,000 Forester's Rations, and we're able to sell them for about a 400k profit. Took about 25 minutes, so a decent-ish moneymaker. I have no idea why these fire remains are worth more than Urium remains often, but we went on a shade slaying rampage and we're able to get about 550 fire remains. That took me about 3.5 hours or something, which means we're making a mil per hour killing fire shades. Actually so good. We are going to spend some of that right away to buy some more supplies though. We got more Faerdhinen to kill. Like I said, we're trying to do at least a few dozen kills a day. Oh my god. It's a new item, not a valuable one, but the Godsword Shard 3. At this point, I'm just excited to see any item. Yeah, okay, that's the final one. I don't think we can get another single item pop up without it being a good, valuable item. The Faerdhinin's Light was the last bunk item. So unless I'm forgetting something, the next time we see a collection log pop up, it's either the Armored Crossbow or the Faerdhinen Hilt. And if something else pops up, I'm gonna throw my monitor out the window. Okay, there it is, guys. That is 250 kill count, which means we're now at pretty much the rate for one of the good items. So now we're entering the fun part. How dry did we get to go? Honestly, kind of entertaining. Alright, we're taking a break again to do some more fire remains. We are getting combat experience with it, which is nice. We're up to 88 attack. So after selling off a bunch of junk and the fire remains, we're up to about 6 mil. And I noticed today that opening Sinister keys is about 2 mil an hour, which is quite good. Sure, we're not going to get experience from it, but it's so relaxed. I think I'm just going to try to take advantage of it while it's profitable. I'll start by buying 150 keys or something. It's just so relaxed. You just barely have to pay attention. Let's see how much we actually sell these off for. Okay, so we sold everything off for 6.4 mil, and we bought the keys for 5.4. We made a mil off 170 keys. That's so good. That's actually more than 2 mil an hour right now. That's crazy. Well, let's keep going with this as long as we can. So we've been killing a fair bit of Faerdhinen. We are now up to a kill count of 436. So we're getting pretty close to double the drop right now. The rate of both the Armored Crossbow and the Faerdhinen hilt is 1 in 504. So yeah, almost a double the drop rate. No luck so far. Now, because we're getting up there in kill count at Faerdhinen and we have yet to get a drop or get lucky enough to even get 2 of the same drops so we can actually get some money, I think we're going to actually just try to get Rigor because, you know, who knows, we could go up to 1,000 kills without getting a drop. Rigor will speed this whole process up. I didn't deem it necessary at first, but we're almost 500 kills in. We should probably go get Rigor. And we're back at the Coliseum. I know, but there's no consistent moneymaker that's just this good, unfortunately. Okay, I think this should be enough. We did a couple more hours of Coliseum and that has brought us up to about 17 mil. We're gonna do a little scrounging. The Dex prayer scroll is thankfully so cheap. 16.7 mil I think we can get it for, and we will slow buy it because we have no choice. We don't have enough money. God, that took forever. I said to myself, I'll just keep doing the Coliseum until this Dex prayer scroll buys, and Jesus Christ, we're there for almost 2 hours waiting. But there we are, we have acquired the Dexterous Prayer Scroll, which is exciting, but unfortunately we have to chuck this one in the bank. Sad, sad, sad. I'd love to use it. But the first time I get an item, whether I buy it or get it as a drop, it has to be added to my collection. As soon as that item enters our inventory, it just gets teleported into the bank. Them's the rules, unfortunately. So we're gonna spend the next however long farming Faerdhinen until we can finally earn ourselves some solid money from it. We're going to be there a while, but that's where we're going to end it for today. We're ending the episode off with one more chunk to unlock next time. Let me know where you think I should go next. What chunk should I unlock? Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.